When You Feel Like Giving Up, episode 223. Are you ready to make your law firm a profit-generating machine that will free up your time and skyrocket your impact? With more than 2 decades of business growth experience and having proven that you can be successful while prioritizing your family and your impact, introducing the Profit with Law podcast. I am your host, the creator of the Firm Differentiator 10X Effect, Moshe Amsel. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Profit with Law podcast. I'm your host, Moshe Amsel, and today I feel compelled to talk about something that's come up on a number of coaching calls with a number of my clients. And if they're struggling with this, then you might be too. So I wanted to talk about it. Now, I sometimes say this is going to be a short and sweet episode, and then I go on for 30 minutes. I think this is going to be a real short and sweet episode, but let's lay the groundwork. So we all know that we need to do something to make progress in our business, whatever that thing may be. Maybe we need to systemize something we're doing. Maybe we need to create a process around something. Maybe we need to automate our intake process. Maybe we need to create a sequence for somebody who's new, a new client in the firm, and get them onboarded properly. Maybe we need to hire somebody. Maybe we need to get our financial books in order. Whatever the thing is that we need to do, what usually ends up happening is we know we need to do something. We decide we're going to do it. And then when it comes time to do it, something happens. And suddenly we are either procrastinating, or we are doubting our decision, or worse, we are justifying and theorizing why that would be the wrong thing to do. And really the right thing to do is to not do the thing that we initially set out to do. And I know I'm talking in a little bit of circles with my language here because I'm not using a specific example. But the reality is you're probably sitting there saying, yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. You know why I can say you're sitting there saying, yep, that's me? Because we all do it. We're human beings, and human beings do it. It's our innate nature. Now, here's what's happening behind the scenes. Here's what's really going on. We have a survival instinct mechanism hardwired into us. We are at the bottom, at the core of it, we are an animal. We are Homo sapiens, right? And we are wired to survive. And our survival instincts, our survival mechanism is to avoid danger, to avoid anything that seems like it's going to create an unsafe situation for us. And we deem any sort of change or any sort of possibility of failure as an unsafe situation. Therefore, whenever we try to grow, and literally I mean whenever, like anything that we do to try to grow, our animal instinct inside of us is to push away and to say, no, I don't want to do that thing. So what happens is you need to systemize a process and streamline it because everyone in your office keeps doing the same thing over and over again unnecessarily. And you know that there's a ton of productivity that could be boosted by doing that. And every time that you set out to do it, you suddenly start finding other things that are more important. You suddenly start second guessing whether it's really going to be efficient to streamline it. Now, what's really happening is deep down inside, your body is saying, or your mind is saying, hey, wait a second. I'm surviving right now in the current situation. I'm doing well. I don't need to try something new. What if it doesn't work? What if the wheels come off? What if, and there's this psychological thing that happens, even if we don't work through it from beginning to end. The psychological thing that happens is that we start playing this game of, well, if I institute or implement this change and it doesn't work, and suddenly we lose all our productivity, we stop delivering to our clients then are frustrated with us, they don't pay their bills, they tell everybody we suck, and all of a sudden we can't get new clients, and boom, we're out of business. And we're out of business, I can't put food on my table, and I can't eat, and all of a sudden I'm dying of starvation. Now, our mind doesn't go there every time, but that's what's happening in this knee-jerk reaction, this survival mechanism that we have that is going to provide resistance every time that we try to grow, every time that we try to change. So how do you get around it? How do you overcome that? How do you solve this problem? How do you grow? And how do you grow without needing to have this inner turmoil every time? That is a really good question. That's why I titled this episode When You Feel Like Giving Up, because that's what happens is you prevent your growth so much that you get so frustrated by your lack of growth that the opposite happens. Suddenly your survival is called into question because of your lack of growth. So to overcome this, what really needs to happen is for you to allow the logical side of you to kind of take over in some of this process. And here's what I mean. You know, having gone through this explanation and now having a little bit of a deeper understanding of what's really going on in the recesses of your brain when this is happening, what happens is you have to come to this realization that when you come up on resistance, when you find yourself procrastinating, when you find yourself justifying doing something differently than what you know really needs to happen, when you find yourself pushing away or being fearful of taking that next step, that is when you need to start to recognize the signs and symptoms of resistance. And that is when you need to say, wait a second, I know what this is. This is my body, my mind telling me that I am about to do something that is going to get me to grow. And it's scary. But if I push through this, if I persevere, there is going to be something amazing for me on the other side of this resistance, on the other side of this pushback that I'm receiving. When you are able to overcome that, when you are able to break through that boundary, that is when the true growth happens. And that is when you will start to see real change happening in your law firm. Have you heard the term comfort zone? We all have, right? You got to get out of your comfort zone. What does that mean? When people say you got to get out of your comfort zone, what does that mean? This is exactly what they are talking about. When motivational speakers, when people who are going to get up on stage and are going to get you to move forward and to take action, what they say, you have to get out of your comfort zone. And until you get into the discomfort zone, until you get into the zone of discomfort, until it really feels uncomfortable, you're not going to make positive change and progress. This is exactly what we're talking about here. And this is exactly how you grow. So, unfortunately, emotionally, there's no way to overcome this, right? We're hardwired that way. And if we allow our emotions, if we allow our animal instincts to drive, then you're going to stay stuck. You're going to grow really slowly or not at all. And you're going to get frustrated and you're going to feel like giving up. But if you just allow this one logical factoid, this one explanation to take hold, and you come to terms with the fact that when I am feeling uncomfortable and I am feeling this resistance and I feel like giving up, that is exactly when I need to push forward. And that is exactly when I am about to have a breakthrough like I've never had before. Ask anybody if you're thinking about hiring your first hire, if you're thinking about systemizing your first process, if you're thinking about organizing for the first time the sales process that you do from when a lead comes in until you close a sale. Go and ask another lawyer, another law firm owner who has already done that, and ask them, how hard was it to take that step? How hard was it to make that next move? And what did it feel like on the other side? I'm going to use hiring an employee as an example because we hear this all the time. We hear people say, if I would have known what it would do for me to hire somebody to work for me in my law firm, I would have done it years ago. How many times have you heard somebody say that? If I would have known how much more productive I would be if I had a virtual assistant or I had an assistant, I would have hired them years ago. If I would have known how many more leads we were going to capture by having Smith AI reception answer our phones so that our phones are always answered live by a live person, I would have done it years ago. We always have this hindsight is 20/20 attitude. But the reality is we need to have this foresight 20/20 attitude. We need to start recognizing and seeing where is the growth going to happen? And how do I accelerate that? And the truth is you accelerate that by getting out of your own way. And how do you get out of your own way? By recognizing that when things get tough, when things get difficult, when you start second guessing yourself over and over again and backing off of your ambitious plans and goals, that is exactly the signs and symptoms those are the warning signs letting you know this is the entrance to success. You've got to push through and open this door. But if you back off and you don't open this door, it's going to evade you. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be successful if you don't go beyond your comfort zone. But the difference between the speed and the level of growth and success that you can achieve is massive when you learn how to get out of your comfort zone. And don't think that because you learned how to get out of your comfort zone once or twice or even a dozen or 100 times that it gets easier, that you don't still fall prey to it. I'm not in any way saying that I am anywhere ahead of you in my own business growth, my own personal journey. But I've definitely pushed through some serious fear, and I've definitely taken some serious action in my business that was not easy. Yet I still find myself in my comfort zone. I still find myself procrastinating certain things. I still find myself punting actions. I still find myself doing things last minute before a deadline. And it's a work in progress. And it may be a work in progress for the rest of my life. And it may be a work in progress for the rest of yours. But the first step is to start to recognize that this is not a reason to back off, but this is a reason to push forward. This is, instead of it being a warning sign, oh my gosh, danger, danger, your life's in danger, take the easy way out, go move back, take a few steps back so you could survive. Start to recognize that these are the signs that I am about to succeed. I am about to grow. I am about to hit a new frontier. I am about to experience a breakthrough. And then take both feet and jump into that next thing. Do the next thing. So that's it, folks. If you feel like giving up, just look at what you haven't done that you knew deep down in your gut you had to do. And start doing some of those things. And you will not feel like giving up ever again. Whenever you feel like giving up, whenever you feel like progress eludes you, you've been treading water, you're drifting along, it's because you haven't taken action on growth. And the moment that you can overcome this, the moment that you can take action, that is when your attitude will change, your energy will change, things will be different. You know it. Deep down, you know that this is exactly what you needed to hear right now. So go do it. Go take that action. Take the next step. Venture into the unknown. I'll leave you with one last thing that I share all the time on the podcast. I share it many times, and that is, what is the worst that can happen? What is the worst thing that can happen if you take an action? You go into the uncomfortable area. You go out of your comfort zone. You push through. And whatever you were doing doesn't work. You hired somebody and they didn't work out. They were the wrong hire. You created a system or a process around something and nobody's doing it. Or everyone's doing it, but it didn't create efficiency. It even slowed people down. What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is you say, oh, well, that didn't work. I'm either going to try again or I'm going to try something else. Right? So your survival is not in question. Your mind thinks it is. Your animal instincts think it is. But the reality is that you can always go back to the way you were before. Or you can choose to learn that whatever you just tried didn't work for whatever reason. Try to figure out what the reason was and try again. But to not do anything, to slink back and not take that action, that is the epitome of failure. Because you never gave yourself the chance to succeed. At least try. At least give yourself the chance. All right, that's it, folks. That's all I have for you today. Hopefully, that small dose. I tried to keep it short, but still over 15 minutes. But anyway, hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this motivates you in some way. I look forward to catching you on Thursday. We're going to be releasing a brand new guest episode. I know we had a number of replays we ran, so time for some new stuff. We've got completely new content, no replays for the next couple of months as far as I know. So enjoy. We have an amazing guest coming up this Thursday. Enjoy the episode, and I'll catch you then, and then catch you next Tuesday on my next solo episode. Take care, folks. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning into the Profit with Law podcast. Your feedback is extremely valuable to us, as well as helping us reach more people with this valuable content. Please leave us a rating and review in your favorite podcast directory. Join us again next time when we are back with even more strategies to profit with law.